Don't forget, we've got 2 finals here for our seniors of the British Pro Kart Championship. It will be the A final to finish off the day, but up next, it's our B final for the British Pro Kart Championship. Right then, looks as though we've just about dodged any further rainfall so far at the moment, as now our senior drivers head out of pit lane for the B final. Now, this isn't going to be like a regular B final. The drivers can't move forward from the B to the A, so this is all just battling for championship points here in the B final. The drivers had opportunities earlier, so they were split into 2 groups from the qualifying lap times from yesterday's action. And then in the heats earlier on, they each had 3 heats, and any drivers in the B heats, any driver that won a heat in the Group B was able to get through into the A group, and they then stayed in there through the rest of the day, and we'll continue to see those drivers who moved up from the B group to the A group later on today in the A final. Let's quickly run you through the grid then before they head round to the race start. Tom Hewlin and Finney Marshall are on the front row, followed by Peter Sharp and Steve Nichols. Jay Shepherd and Bo Harbour on row 3, followed by Archie Cotton and Gary Evans. Andrea Bahario Mastita and Alfie King round out the top 10 on row 5. They're followed by Eddie Croydon Fowler and Kenny McAllister, then Tristan Deacon, Rodney Taylor, Sean Deacon, Jonathan Liddell, then Simon Sharp, Daruv Rout, and Alex Maher. Well, here we go then. 19 drivers taking to the start here in only the B final. Amazing to see this turnout once again here in the British Junior Pro Kart Championship. Well, the flag drops and we get underway for 10 minutes of racing once again here at Shenington. Hewland will lead us down through the first couple of corners, and it seems as though it's been a good start for him as he looks to break away on the number 8 kart. Drivers following close in behind there. There is the number 85. That was a Gary Shepherd. I think Shepherd's made quite a good start then. Up to 4th place he's gone already, has Gary. So a good couple of positions made there, only through Park Bend, Cafe and Pits for Gary, and already pressing on forward. There is the number 14 of Bo Harbour now leading the next train. He's got the 45, I think it is. No, it must be the 85 of Jay Shepherd, who he's got in his wheel tracks. Continuing to squabble just outside of the top 5 here as we almost bring this first lap to a close already. The laps do go by pretty quickly here at Shenington. But oh my goodness, does it treat us to some fantastic racing. Does this very, very fast 1 kilometre circuit. Of course, it does also have the extension for the KZ2s, but we don't have those out here racing today, only using this slightly shorter layout. But all the same layout anyway. The KZ2s only get a longer straight, and then they have a hairpin just the same. So no real difference that the drivers are missing out on. And there we see on this first initial hairpin there at Stratford. You can see there at the back of the shot that corner I mentioned there, and the slightly extended layout added a few years after this track was initially opened. Well then, top 2 very much breaking away there, and you can see now Peter Sharp feeding under a bit of pressure there in 3rd place. Jay Shepherd had a great first lap of the race in getting a few positions up the order. Well, now he's looking to make some more moves, but this time he goes wide. Down at Wilkins Complex, he's gone wide. That'll lose him a bit of momentum, and he's going to hold up the drivers behind as well. Looking to the inside there is the number 14 of Bo Harbour. Inside will turn to the outside, but it doesn't matter. He chops straight back across the nose. Brilliant move from Bo Harbour, and he gets into the top 5 then. Past Gary Evans he goes, checks over the shoulder to the exit, knows there can't be a re-overtake here from Gary Evans, and is able to open up the line. Gary's thinking about it though. Again, no, Gary was way too far back there. Gets it stopped, and that means he's going to ruin all of his momentum there out of the corner. I think luckily he was able to do the block pass. It keeps Archie Cotton and Andrea Bahario Mastita behind for now. Well, already almost a quarter of the race distance complete here in our senior British Pro Kart Championship B final, this one. But Tom Hewland took him 2 laps to extend the lead by just over a second. What's it going to be now yet again as they head to the end of lap number 3? Whoa, it's a new fastest lap from Finney Marshall. Hey, I thought Tom Hewland might just be driving away with this one, but looks as though the momentum has shifted back the way then of Finney Marshall. Well, Marshall now looking to launch an attack here on Tom Hewland. They'll need to find a few more tenths though to chase him back down, and then to try and set up a move. Of course, as we always say in motorsport, it's one thing catching a driver, it's a whole other thing trying to actually find a way past, particularly when pace is so similar. However, out of the drivers in the top 5, the slowest one of those 5 is Tom Hewland in the lead of the race. So that's very positive for the neutrals anyway, watching on the sidelines or watching at home here, courtesy of the live stream on Stratton Events YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to not miss any of the future rounds of the UK Kart Series throughout 2026. But thank you for joining us here at round number 2. Has he closed in again? Yes, he has. Another fastest lap of the race for Finley Marshall. He's now down into the 49.9s. First driver to get down into the 49s. And that gap closes to 3/4 of a second. Well, despite the pace from Finley Marshall, a couple of tenths gained on the previous lap, he's not got a whole lot of time left to get this done. And we'll see. You never know. Tom Hewland might just be keeping a little bit in the locker here. And if Hewland is able to turn up the wick here across the last few minutes of the race, he might just be able to get that British Pro Karts as wide as possible and look to defend on Marshall. Well, that gap has closed visibly. Yes, yet again, another fastest lap of the race from Finley Marshall. That gap now 4/10 of a second. He gained almost 4/10 on that last lap alone. So let's expect to see Finley launching an attack here near the end of lap number 6. Number 7 goes slightly wide there. That's Gary Evans losing another position, sadly, for Gary Archie Cotton, now the driver who finds a way through. Courtesy of that slightly slidey moment there for the number 7 through Pitts Bend. Cotton through into the top 6 once more, though. Nose to tail ahead as well. Jay Shepherd now being hounded by Bo Harbour. Bo Harbour's had a good race so far in this one, hasn't he, on the number 14? And you can see these two nose to tail setting up the move there up the inside, but door shut firmly in his face by the 85 of Jay Shepherd. But Jay outbreaks himself, goes a little bit wide, and now it's the turn of Bo to shut the door on Jay's face. Bo moves through, up into 4th place then. Move gets done. Well, he was thinking about it on corner entry, had to back out of it, but the opportunity opened up again there on corner exit. He was able to grab that one with both hands. Into 4th place he goes then. And only now about a second to catch up to 3rd place, but there's the move for the lead. Up the inside there at Stratford Hairpin. It was a little bit too late there from Finley Marshall. Too much of a late dive there. And Tom Hewland's able to close off the corner at the apex. Absolutely scuppers the exit speed there of Finley Marshall. And Tom Hewland retakes the lead. Well, the first sniff that we've seen so far in this race at a change of lead. But Marshall not able to do it at the moment. Off we continue on. On to now, what will this be? Lap number 8 of proceedings then. So still Hewland leading the way. But it's surely only a matter of time until Marshall tries to set up another move. He attempted it last time through the Stratford hairpin, and it's looking like he's set to try it again here. Has he got a good enough exit? Can he use the slipstream to make the move? Well, even if he could, Tom Hewland was smart to it. Hold that inside line as late as he could before moving back across to open up that corner and carry the speed out, down runway and through into the chicane once more. Hewland doing a lovely job at the moment, just weathering the storm, dealing with the pressure here, being mounted onto him by the 75 of Finley Marshall. And Marshall's super close here, down into the right hand of the final corner. Looks to thread the needle, almost contact there between the two leaders. Oh, that was heart in mouth moment stuff there for Tom Hewland's, I'm sure, family and friends watching on the sidelines. That was nearly a calamitous moment, almost a T-bone, but honestly, well done to Finley Marshall there. He was able to grab the brakes, kept himself in check and kept himself out of the side of the number 8. But now he's lost that bit of momentum, he's lost that bit of pace, and he's got a bit of work to do once again to close back up to the rear bumper of Hewland. How is the gap looking like to Peter Sharp? It closed up by almost 6/10 on the last lap to Peter. More battling like this between the top two, and we could see the 68 of Peter Sharp close in and join the squabble as well. Well, I'm in neutral at the sideline, and I'm very much hoping for that here in the commentary box. Let's see if it materialises it then. It is 5 seconds back from Hewland to 4th place of Bo Harbour, but he has now scampered off for the likes of Shepherd, Cotton and Evans. He's a second clear of those drivers battling for the last position in the top 5. Well, on to that number 10 we go now, and still Hewland ahead. Well, not for much longer. Up the inside goes Finley Marshall, but it'll go wide out through Cafe Curve, and a lovely up and under move there from Tom Hewland. Read that one beautifully, didn't stress about the initial move up the inside from Finley. And he was able to calmly and consideredly move his way back through into the lead. Nicely done, nicely considered there from Tom Hewland. Really, really calm drive here from Tom. He's keeping himself in check, I think he knows that Finley has the outright pace over him ever so slightly, but he is defending beautifully for the moment, getting it nice and slidey there under brakes, down into the Wilkins complex, block passing through to the apex, and have to cut back across though here to stop the overlap. He hasn't done it though. He hasn't stopped the overlap, and in comes Finley Marshall up the inside, then into Park Bend. Marshall's going to take the race lead. Can he hang it round the outside? He has. Lovely stuff there from Tom Hewland. He hangs it round the outside of the left-hander of Park Bend, which becomes the inside for Cafe, and he keeps the lead. Epic racing here in the British Pro Kart Championship, and don't forget folks, this is only the B final. Epic racing here at the sharp end of the B final. Well, Hewland continued to lead us on then. Somehow, despite the efforts of Finley Marshall over the last few laps, somehow he still hasn't found it to the lead of the race. And we're closing down now to 60 seconds left to go in this one. He's got a nice exit as Marshall there, out of the chicane, down hanger straight, and through the right-hander hanger they go. Once more, Marshall sent to the outside line. He'll do the up and under. He'll V off the corner there to try and slingshot the exit. But I think Hewland will have second thoughts there about closing the door, and this time he does, thank goodness. But look at that, looking around the outside to try and get the inside. Too slidey though in the mid-corner there of Park Bend for Finley Marshall. He's lost that momentum and lost the opportunity at the move, and these opportunities are dwindling now. We're ticking down towards the final lap of the race here, ladies and gentlemen. And still, Tom Hewland in the lead. He will be very deserving of this B final win here if he's able to hold on to it over these last couple of laps or so. Question is, will it be this one and one more, or this one and two more? I think it will just about be on to the last lap next time around, but again, it's going to be close in terms of the timer. Down into Wilkins Complex they come then for the 12th time in this race. And indeed, it will be last lap board then this time around. Out the final corner they come then. Last lap board seen by your race leader of Tom Hewland. He's got 1,000 metres to continue defending here from Finley Marshall. Marshall goes for it up the inside once again. But will he run wide, just as he did previously? Yes, he does. Off onto the wet stuff he goes. He loses the momentum, and up and under goes Tom Hewland. It just seems that Hewland has an answer to every weapon in the arsenal here of Finley Marshall. Out of Stratford Hairpin they come once again then, and it's still Tom Hewland in the lead of this race. Oh, I thought there might be a cheeky dive to the inside there. That could have been a little cheeky block pass there from the 75, but has he got the exit? Has he got the overlap? Finley Marshall trying to chop across, but no. Tom Hewland closes the door, and this will have to be an up and under, V'ing off the corner again from Marshall to try and get the exit speed and pull alongside, but surely the number 8 will chop across. Of course he will. It's going to be Tom Hewland who wins in the B final. Brilliant defending throughout that race from Tom Hewland, and a deserving victory there in the B final. A very well done to the driver of the number 8. Well, look at that huge battle pack from 6th backwards. Coming across the line there, Cotton, Evans, Nichols, Crowden, Foiler and Baharu Mastita all squabbling. Sorry we couldn't focus on that battle at any point in the race, but that squabble for the lead was far too sensational for us to take our eyes off. Brilliant stuff between Hewland and Marshall. But as I say, Tom just seemingly had the answers for everything that Finley threw at him during that race, and Tom Hewland will take maximum points then there from the B final. Finley Marshall having to settle for second despite getting that fastest lap of 49.743, and Peter Sharp closed in to about 2 seconds by the race end. Not quite enough though to get involved in that scrap. Third place for Peter Sharp. He was followed by Bo Harbour, Jay Shepherd, Archie Cotton, Gary Evans, Steve Nichols, Eddie Croydon Fowler, Andrea Baharu Mastita rounded out the top 10. He was followed by Kenny McAllister, Simon Sharp, Tristan Deacon, Sean Deacon, Rodney Taylor and Jonathan Liddell then, your 16 drivers. Once again, all drivers who started the race making it to the finish in that one as well. Well, as we say, that was only the B final there in the British Pro Kart Championship.